Hello everyone, welcome back once again to Edgington, the city on the edge here, in Timber and Stone, beta version 1.52 as the chat over there says. Right. Well, my capacity to actually have a chat about things kind of took a nosedive in the past couple of episodes. Yesterday, day 53, was quite rough. And oh hey, we have somebody here. Letitia. But I'm gonna know better once you actually turn up. So yay! We're starting the day on a high note. Right. I have had a word with Paper, so I know what to do with their name, and when we have sufficient peoples, maybe they'll turn back up. But I know who exactly this one's gonna be named after. But anyways, my subject for today, as we go about our things, is... Actually, what are we up to? Ooh, boy. Yeah, a lot of crafting. A lot of crafting going for. Very nice. Good to see. Is gonna be a little teensy tiny bit on the political side. Teeny tiny bit, I promise. Not actually that... No, not national politics, not international or global politics. More the politics of an industry, if you will. Closer to trade regulations than anything else. But... basically, drama regarding how YouTube runs has crossed my dash again, and I figured I'd throw my 2 cents in on it, or my 2 pence, my penny farthing, if you will. I believe we're about to get our new settler. Helena, level up, yay! So, who are you? What are you good at? What are you buying? Okay, Letitia, level 3 engineer. We don't currently have much need for engineers, but we can totally put you to something. Stonemason, woodchopper. We don't really have much need of a woodchopper either, or another stonemason. But we could probably put you in as a fisher, if nothing else. Yeah, I guess we'll start you on fish and we'll come up with something else later. So, let's just grab you. Let's tell you when to sleep. So that is basically evening, night, midnight, late night. Let's tell you to always have a torch on you. And we're gonna rename you as well. So, you are going to be... Wolfram. So, welcome, Wolfram. Currently an engineer, but we're going to change that to fisher right now. There we go. So enjoy. Welcome. And, okay. So the drama is basically every time YouTube changes something, people lose subs, and from that they lose money because they're basing on ad revenue and all sorts, which I could argue all day about. But the thing that YouTube really has a big problem with is clickbait. And we all know what this is. It's when somebody puts out a video and it's got all caps, exclamation pointed headline to it, and in addition to that, it's got a thumbnail that says or shows something ludicrous. There's way blown out of proportion. It's the standard model. We all know this from like YouTube vlogging and such. And it's infuriating as heck because it works. It works so well. It requires so little effort and so little actual content, but it works. And unfortunately, there's a reason that it works. Why clickbait like this exists. And part of the reason is actually Google. It partially works because Google tries to find the things that it thinks you'll actually be interested in seeing. So it looks for things that are very obviously containing subjects that you're actually interested in by looking at the tags, by looking at the view count, and by looking at other elements that it thinks ties it to what you actually want to see. So it'll look for things that are provocative, if you will, because it will look for things that are getting a lot of attention. Provocative things get attention. Now what this then means is that it looks for things like clickbait, because clickbait screams that it's something that you want to see. And then it will put clickbait to your YouTube front page or whatever, and more people will click on it because it's on their front page, and that will get it more views, so it looks more likely to be something you're interested in, so YouTube cycles back and puts it at the front page of more people. Which is to say that Google looks for clickbait because clickbait is built for Google, so Google looks for it, and then just so on. It snowballs, basically. It's this roundabout circular reinforcement of clickbait. Now, I'm not a drama channel. I don't jump out of planes for clicks. I don't tell hyperbole stories about, oh, how I almost died one time. Which, to the best of my knowledge, I haven't. Because, for some reason, I always have more stories about other people doing that in my life than me. Maybe I'm just the one with common sense. I don't know. But, you know, you're in Edgington. So, I presume you've come to hear me ramble on about something for about 20 minutes. Or maybe you just want to watch people maybe die. And you just fret about all of like the 30-odd people. I forget how many people this settlement actually has now, but it's a fair few. So yeah, you're here, so I presume you're okay hearing me ramble about something. That's never going to appeal to clickbait. And I'm fine with this. Now, the reason people want to be seen on the YouTube front pages and whatnot, the reason people try these clickbait things to get more views and stuff is because of ads. Ads get more revenue for the channel, they get more revenue for YouTube. YouTube, and thereby Google, who now owns it, are interested in people seeing the ads. They're interested in things working and being seen, so they're interested in clickbait, whether they intend for it or not. And obviously, considering the back end of it, they might not. But, so, people do clickbait to get views, to get ads, to get money. Oldest story in economic history. YouTube is trying to change around how it does things so that because the trouble with clickbait is you click it, you spend 5 seconds realizing it's not what you're actually looking for, and you click away. So you get more ad views out of people actually watching the whole video, which I can say even I don't get very much. It's not exactly an easy thing to do. It's impossible to make viral videos reliably, but clickbait is the closest next thing. And there are two things that YouTube's trying to do recently. Is that it's trying to cut back on multi-channel networks because they're not honestly all that effective compared to just one really big channel, and they're trying to prioritize a little bit more channels that put out videos that get watched more completely. This is having a massive catastrophic effect on a lot of people, because now multi-channel networks are cutting back. Maker recently released me, which I'm fine with, because I didn't get a single benefit out of them anyways. Other people are kind of horrified at their networks dropping them. But it is hilarious the amount of jubilance I've seen out of people who are getting released from Maker, because Maker has some issues. But part of the issue of being a multi-channel network was also you're under contract, so it's hard to leave, but also they're taking a share of your ad revenue, which is part of why I'm surprised I wasn't released from Maker earlier, but... so now people get released, they get back the rest of their ad revenue, and they can make more money. People who are new to this channel, and if you're new to this channel, and I'm not entirely certain why you're watching this series, because this is my chillest thing. This is like one of my lowest earning shows. Like I get very few views on this compared to other shows I do. But if you're new to the channel, you might not know that I turned off ads on my channel. Oh, that's Penguin. Okay, so that's Penguin. That's Apu, and that is Rafe. Okay, we have 3 people out. Interesting. I suppose it is early morning, but we're just changing over. I turned off ads on the channel a little over a year ago, I want to say. Shortly after I started Patreon. because the Patreon was doing so well, and ads earned me about $50 a month, maybe. So I turned them off. I have not made a single penny from ads since. In fact, I have devotedly tried very hard not to make money from ads on these videos. Which then makes me a massive loss from a maker, so again, I'm surprised they didn't release me. So you might then wonder, how can I afford to do all this? How am I making money on these videos if I'm not putting ads on them, if I'm not getting paid via YouTube? How am I doing this as a job? The answer is, I don't make money off of these videos. I make money via Patreon. People who watch my videos, who want me to continue to have the opportunity to make these videos as a full-time gig, go to Patreon, they pledge their little tithe of however much per month, and they get a few rewards out of it, but most people are just doing it because they like my stuff. And that then gives me the freedom to not have to be looking for a job in this economy, and all sorts, and actually just make these videos. So via Patreon, I make money, but strictly speaking, I could shut down video production tomorrow and be fine. I wouldn't, because I like doing these videos. I like yammering at a camera for 20 minutes or so. But I'm now getting a little bit off topic here. So what I'm saying here, with this little diatribe about why I don't put ads on videos and stuff, is that there are other ways to monetize videos, but the way I'm doing it is completely incompatible with adverts. Because, as I say, I could shut down making videos today, tomorrow, whenever I like, at the drop of a hat if I wanted to. And since I'm not putting ads on these videos anyway, there is no way for another company to incentivize people watching me. There is no clickbait. Even if there was clickbait, there is nothing for them to click on. So consequently, I am a complete net loss for any company trying to thrive on clickbait. I'm a complete loss for ad revenue. Fine for me, not great for any company that is trying to advertise through YouTube. So you're not going to be seeing any Power Rangers adverts on me. But other channels, and I have to say, with the success of Patreon, I'm completely bewildered by why more channels don't do it. But other channels prefer to stick with ads. And that's fine. That's their business model. If it works for them, then sure. It's more or less only viable at much higher levels of subscribers than I have, and much more regular view numbers than I'd have, but that's fine. If they can do it, sure, go ahead. It's an age-old model. You put a television on, you see exactly the same thing. You've got TV episodes broken up by adverts. It worked. At least it worked 10 years ago. But the trouble that it has for YouTube is that it is utterly destroying the creative side of it. The reason we started watching YouTube was for videos of people doing cool stuff, doing funny stuff, doing really stupid stuff. And now it's being broken down to a formula that YouTube is perhaps unwittingly reinforcing. That of the person in the thumbnail going, and the title going, I was almost mugged, or something like that. And YouTube then just churns it up and up and up and up and up, despite however long it actually took to make that video, however much effort, how much time and money, etc. went into it. As I say, it is impossible to reliably create viral videos. But it is possible to make clickbait. So you've got people like me, who, say for example a Dungeon Maker episode that has a time-lapse in it, that might take half a day to make in its entirety. And then you've got people who sit in front of a camera for 30 minutes, ramble on about some inane story, and shove it up unedited with a reasonably fancy thumbnail and a provocative headline. And then clickbait just spins them up. So there is, economically, far less reason... Whoop, we've reached our cap on tool chests. Okay, where is a good place to put a tool chest? I guess we could do having one around here. We've also got weaponry at the front here, weaponry and armor, so That's fine. Oh, hey, we've got a new migrant. Christopher Bastien, an archer. Ooh, hello. Okay, self-bow. Oh, haven't seen those over. Lazy and clumsy, well, that's great. Tailor, fisherman, engineer, archer, adventurer, infantry. Jeez, you're a wunderkind. And trader as well. Okay, well, I guess we could put you on the military then, if you're an infantry too. So let's accept. Let's schedule your sleep. I'm gonna put you in this as the first person in our midday rota. So let's put you almost entirely to bed. So you've got midday, afternoon, morning, and late morning, which puts you to either side of people actually being around. Let's set you to infantry. Let's have you walk patrol routes, and let's also tell you to use pole arms. Nobody should be using swords. And let's also, from Christopher Bastien, who apparently I can't even give you that name, that must be a supporter of the game's name. Let's give you the name of Willow Witchguard. There we go, so welcome Willow. Okay, good. Off to work. And I was just trying to build a tool chest, wasn't I? So storage, tool chest. I am notorious for getting completely turned around by stuff. And that is, I think, facing the wrong way. Hang on a sec. Yeah, let's put it that way. That's better. Okay, so by virtue of clickbait being so easy and so successful on YouTube, it makes it harder for people to actually survive on quality content because it takes longer, because it's more expensive, harder to make, and the skill ceiling, if you will, is much higher than for just your average person with a webcam and Windows Movie Maker, which is, hey, that's where I started, believe it or not, way back when, in like 2013, 12, I don't know. So that means that this medium that we originally started watching for creative content is becoming less creative, it's becoming more clickbait, it's becoming more the sort of ad spam that we often envision when we think of viewing the internet without an ad blocker or something. Whenever someone looks at the darker side of the internet, they usually expect to see whole tons of pop-up windows and stuff. That's basically what YouTube's becoming because it's reinforcing clickbait. And there are ways that we can change this. But it's kind of hard to do it without just reinforcing clickbait, because clickbait is built on the things that you'd look for in actual quality entertainment. They're looking for high views, they're looking for relevance. The trouble is that the slightest bit of relevance gets spun up into high views because it's clickbait, so people click it. And that's what really grinds the gears, if you will, of actual YouTubers, of people who are actually trying to make quality content, is that it's just not worth it if you're on the ads, the ad revenue of YouTube. Now, it's easier to make money on YouTube if you're very big on YouTube. It's easier to get big on YouTube if you follow what YouTube reinforces, I should say. Enforces sounds like they're actually going around with truncheons and billy clubs. But it is possible to survive when you're a smaller channel through things like Patreon, by finding an alternative means of monetizing essentially the talent, which is the person in front of the camera, and ideally in most cases of YouTubers, the person also who happens to be behind the camera, and the person editing, and all sorts. But, yeah, generally speaking, the talent. So if you can find a way to make a living off of YouTube through a means that isn't ad revenue, then you can get out of the sort of clickbait cycle, but it becomes harder to actually do it, because you need to be of a certain scale in order to actually make it sustainable and profitable and whatnot, and that's harder to do when you're not following YouTube's kind of patterns. And this is why people get angry. This is why they get annoyed and irritated and frustrated that every change YouTube makes it harder for quality creators to actually do stuff, and makes it all that much more, like, almost necessary to be clickbait. And if it sounds like I've gone in a big circle for the past 20 minutes, there's the problem. Content creators don't really have an answer for this. We don't have a way to change this, because it'll always be easier to do clickbait, and it's always going to be hard for YouTube to filter out clickbait. So I'm arguably sat in a privileged position here, in that I'm not tied to YouTube's search algorithms to make ads to make money. But I may be making money, but I'm still at, what, 4,200-ish subs as I film this right now. It has been dropping because YouTube keeps trying to cull spam accounts and accounts that aren't actually real and all sorts. That's going to keep ticking down because I'm not taking it back up. For me, that doesn't matter. I can have 0 subscribers on my channel. As long as people like what I'm making, they can go over to Patreon and I will be fine. But the only way for me to grow the Patreon is to get more people watching the videos. And that then means that I have to make videos that people want to watch. So I'm a little bit up the creek in that regard. But as long as I've got a thriving and friendly community, which is something I desperately try to maintain, I'll be okay. But I can't say this doesn't affect me. So it's something worth talking about. And with that, it's midday, so hope you've enjoyed my attempt, at least, to explain why there are so many YouTubers ranting and raving about how YouTube goes. And I shall catch you, as always, here in Edgington next time.